Guardians of the Golden Grove. Amidst the vast expanse of rolling hills and sprawling meadows, a mystical grove stood tall, shimmering in a golden hue. This grove was not just a random assembly of trees, it was the very essence of life, energy, and power. Each tree bore golden leaves that held the power to heal, protect, and rejuvenate. But such power often attracts unwanted attention, and thus, the grove was protected by guardians. Elara and Orion were the chosen ones, bestowed with the honor of being the guardians of the Golden Grove. From their childhood, they had trained hard, learning ancient spells, mastering combat skills, and understanding the intricate balance of nature. Together, they complemented each other's strengths and made up for each other's weaknesses. The grove thrived under their protection, but the outside world was not oblivious to its wonders. Tales of the grove's magical powers spread, and soon, dark forces began to lurk on the outskirts, seeking a way in. One fateful night, a shadowy figure approached the grove. Astra, a sorceress driven by greed, aimed to harness the power of the Golden Grove for her own ambitions. She believed that with the grove's magic, she could reign supreme over lands far and wide. Elara and Orion sensed the impending danger. The wind whispered warnings, and the earth trembled with unease. Prepared for the confrontation, the guardians stood tall at the entrance of the grove, magic coursing through their veins. Astra was formidable. With every spell she cast, the sky darkened, and thunder roared. But the guardians were no pushovers. Drawing power from the grove in their bond, they deflected Astra's assaults and countered with their own. The battle raged for hours, tearing apart the very fabric of the earth and sky. In the midst of the chaos, Elara realized the true strength of the grove. It wasn't in its golden leaves or magical aura, but in its roots, the connections that ran deep, binding everything together. With this revelation, she whispered an ancient chant, calling upon the power of unity. The trees of the grove responded. Their roots entwined, forming a protective barrier. A blinding light erupted, and when it faded, Astra was nowhere to be seen. The grove had protected itself, with Elara and Orion's guidance. But the battle left scars. Parts of the grove were charred, and the golden hue was dimmer. However, with time, care, and love, the guardians nursed it back to health. Years passed, and the grove stood resplendent once more. Elara and Orion, their hair now streaked with silver, often sat under the trees, reflecting on their journey. They had not only protected the grove but had also learned an invaluable lesson about the power of unity and connection. And while the world moved on, with tales of the Golden Grove becoming legends told to wide-eyed children, the Guardians' legacy lived on, a testament to their unwavering dedication and the grove's eternal magic. The Enchanted Ember. In the heart of a dense, whispering forest, a campfire blazed. Its flames danced and swayed, casting eerie shadows on the surrounding trees. But this was no ordinary fire. Within its fiery heart lay a singular ember, brighter and hotter than the rest. This ember was enchanted, holding within it the power to grant a single wish. Lena, a young woman with curious eyes and a heart full of dreams, stumbled upon this campfire during one of her explorations. She was known for her adventurous spirit, always seeking the unknown and the mysterious. The stories she'd heard from old folk spoke of such a magical ember, but she had considered them mere tales to entertain children. Drawn to the fire's warmth and intrigued by the unusually bright ember, Lena sat down beside it. As she gazed into the flames, a soft voice echoed in her ears, "One wish, choose wisely." Stunned, Lena looked around, trying to find the source of the voice but found no one. Realization dawned on her. The legends were true. She had a chance to make a wish. But what should she wish for? Wealth, power, eternal youth. The possibilities were endless. As she pondered, memories of her past flooded back. She remembered her village, plagued by droughts and famines. She recalled the faces of children, their eyes devoid of hope. Her own experiences had shaped her, taught her the value of selflessness. With a determined look, Lena whispered to the ember, "I wish for prosperity and well-being for my village, for the lands to be fertile and the rivers full." The ember glowed even brighter for a moment and then shot up into the sky, bursting into a myriad of sparkles, which rained down upon the forest. The voice echoed once more, "Your selfless wish has been granted." Days turned into weeks as Lena journeyed back to her village. When she arrived, the transformation was astonishing. The once barren fields were now lush with crops, rivers flowed abundantly, and the laughter of children filled the air. The village had been blessed with prosperity, just as she had wished. However, Lena soon realized the true magic of the enchanted ember. It wasn't just about granting wishes, it was a test of one's character. The ember had the power to give, but it also judged the heart of the wisher. Greedy wishes could have led to destruction, but selfless ones brought blessings. Lena's tale became legendary, not because of the magic she had encountered but due to the choice she made. Her story was a reminder that true magic lies not in what one can gain for oneself, but in the joy and prosperity one can bring to others. Years passed, and while the enchanted ember was never seen again, its legacy lived on in the thriving village and the heartwarming tale of a young woman's selfless wish. Whirlwinds and wishes. Amora's world was one of sand and heat, where fierce whirlwinds roamed the vast desert, consuming everything in their path. To most, these whirlwinds were destructive forces to be feared, but for the people of Amora's tribe, they were a source of power. Legend had it that within the heart of each whirlwind lay a trapped spirit. If one were brave enough to confront the whirlwind and reach its center, they could communicate with the spirit and ask for a boon. But the challenge was daunting, for many who tried never returned. Amora, with her raven-black hair and eyes that mirrored the deep blue sky, had always been captivated by this legend. The weight of a personal mission weighed on her heart. Her younger brother, Kale, had fallen gravely ill, and no healer or remedy could lift the malaise that gripped him. The only hope left was the mystical power of the whirlwinds. On the dawn of a particularly hot day, as the sun painted the horizon in shades of gold and crimson, Amora decided to venture out into the desert. She took with her a satchel filled with water, some food, and an old amulet, passed down through generations, believed to protect its bearer from harm. Hours turned into days as Amora journeyed, facing the relentless heat and blinding sandstorms. But her resolve never wavered. And then, on the third day, she encountered a massive, roaring whirlwind, its vortex stretching high into the sky. With the amulet clutched in her hand and Cale's face etched in her mind, Amora plunged into the whirlwind. Inside, she was met not by chaos, but by an otherworldly calm. The trapped spirit, a shimmering entity, hovered before her. "Why do you seek me?" the spirit questioned, its voice echoing like a distant melody. "My brother, he's ill. I wish for his health," Amora replied, her voice filled with desperation. The spirit, sensing her sincerity, responded, "The purity of your heart grants you this one wish. But remember, every wish comes with a price." Without waiting for her response, the whirlwind dispersed, leaving Amora alone in the now tranquil desert. Rushing back to her tribe, she found Cale healthy and laughing, the sickness a mere memory. But as days passed, Amora noticed a change in herself. Every time she sang, plants would sprout around her, and water would gather from thin air. The price of her wish was the magic now coursing through her veins. With her newfound powers, Amora turned the arid desert into a haven, with blooming oases and flowing rivers. The tribe flourished under her care. While she had saved her brother, she had also transformed their world. The legend of Amora, the girl who braved the whirlwind and brought life to the desert, spread far and wide. But to her, the real victory was the gleaming smile on Cale's face and the prosperity of her people. And so, amidst whirlwinds and wishes, a tale of courage and love was woven, destined to be retold for generations to come.